What's up, guys? Stuck here again. This is several things that guys wish women knew, and guys kind of value the women to know in a relationship. So, number one, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but among guys, we just complain that, or rather, we would say, "I wish they would just get it." You know, when guys say, "I wish they would just get it," like they would just understand, they would just know. You know, it's the equivocal as the girl expecting the guy to know without them having to drop hints or say something. It's the guy's version of that, where I guess guys are by far not as smooth in terms of dropping hints or something. We're more along the lines of simple thought process, so we'll just kind of come straight forward almost and don't mind seeing what it is rather than just like playing coy about it and hoping that you will understand or get it. So yeah, that one is, you know, guys just wish girls would get it. Same thing like girls would wish guys would get it. But yeah, that one that's number one. Have a heart. Now, what does that mean? I mean, of course, it's come from my my first hand experience, but a lot of times, females. I mean, no offense, you guys have a heart, but I guess it's not as simple as like literally having a heart. You know, I mean, it's kind of like, I guess every guy's kind of different, and I guess every guy is kind of tailor made. Well, technically, everybody is tailor made to to specifications, but rather for me personally, it just seems that being extremely kind and understanding and having an ear for listening and stuff is those among other things is really rare to find nowadays for me in my personal experience. You know, where it's okay to be wild and crazy, but to also on the inside have that capacity to have a heart, to have compassion, to be able to be considerate, and you know, at the same time to be not super like uptight, but to be normal, you know. And yeah, I know that's like a combination of this one and the next one, but yeah, you know, just the ability to have a heart. You know, a lot of times nowadays it's kind of cutthroat out there. I'm not gonna lie, and more times than not, a lot of people are bringing to new relationships the experience of being on the worser end rather than on the better end, which makes perfect sense because if they're on the better end, then they would already be locked down with somebody, and thus they would not need to be looking for somebody else. But yeah, guys like a girl who is, I don't want to say playful, but I guess that's kind of what it is. You know, it's somebody who's comfortable. Well, rather somebody who's not so like not really shy, but you know what I mean. Like somebody who's open, but not like super open. Like, oh, they're gonna tell you anything, anytime. You know, oh, there's no holds barred. Oh, just what is seen any kind. But you know, there's bounds. But obviously, the person is comfortable within their own skin to be, you know, open with you. Guys appreciate that. Rather, I particularly appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only guy out there that appreciates that. Somebody who, you know, you don't really feel pressure from. You know, it's she's comfortable, you're comfortable, you know, we're both comfortable. You know, you bring her around your friends or you go around her friends and stuff. It's kind of like a good vibe. Everybody's all comfortable, and you know, it's healthy like that. You know, people, females rather, that are uptight and stuff, kind of get guys, especially guys who are vibe sensitive, get us kind of, you know, like, whoa, did I do something? Like, you know, you know, guys think a lot, especially guys who aren't the smoothest. They're not like the, you know, the most, yo, what's up? You know, like guys who are just normal guys. We tend to think a lot, and when you, I guess, it seems like you're holding back words or you're not saying something, but your body language or something is kind of like spelling something different, but you're not saying something. You know, kind of gets us thinking. So that is like a really scary thing, especially for guys out there who are like me and think a whole lot. You know, that's a not a no-no, but rather that's, wow, that makes things really difficult and makes guys like me overly analyze and overly think on something that probably doesn't need to be. if you were just more comfortable and more open. So yeah, that's another one. Somebody who has boundaries. And I am so not making these up off the top of my head as I speak. But no, we all like a girl who is playful and fun and oh yeah, no problem, let's go do this, let's go da 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 da. But surprisingly enough, a lot of guys out there, me included, will admit that we don't want our woman to be more crazier than us. We don't want our woman to be more louder or more, just rude, more disrespectful than us. For someone, especially people who are like Sadaki here, we're looking for somebody who will, bring, what is that? What is that called now? What is that called? They ground us, not grounded as in like you're grounded, you broke rules, you're grounded, but grounded as in like they'll ground us in terms of our character, in terms of how we're wild and crazy, or we're kind of like, like, oh, we're hyper or whatnot, and they're the ones that add the energy and the vibe that calms us down, brings us down to earth, so not so much somebody who is like completely opposite, but somebody who can bring themselves into the picture as they are without any, what is that? You don't rub off on them kind of thing. They don't rub off on you prior. Like, they are just themselves. And they know who they are. And you know who you are. And it just turns out that you're like this guy who's like, oh yeah, good time, party, whatever. And then, to compliment, she has things in common that you guys both like. But at the same time, she's different enough as a person to where her calmness will, like, level off your wild and crazy kidsness from Nickelodeon, and you guys will just end up, you'll bring her up because she's down here, and she'll bring you down here, so you guys will kind of, you know what I mean? Like, we look for balance. There we go. Let me make it short. I was getting too personal over there. We look for balance. If we're more wild and crazy, we're not necessarily looking for a girl who's more than us. A lot of times you'll catch us finding somebody who's close to the same level as we are, and, they kind of end up dying down together in terms of cooling off together. And then there's some of us who would really appreciate and like a female who is more calm and down to earth. Not somebody who cannot keep up with you, but somebody who's more down to earth and everything. But yeah, somebody who's more down to earth, somebody who will ground you. Not ground and pound you, just, when you're up on your high horse and, just kind of shrink the horse down a little bit. But yeah, I guess a female that takes good care of herself, For me personally, I can respect that. I can appreciate that. I can respect that because, I feel that it's a necessity that a woman knows how to take care of herself and make herself presentable in the public. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys out there that, I'm not saying, like, over the top kind of business. I'm just saying, I'm not saying per se, but you know what I mean. But but I'm just saying though that a woman that takes she takes good care of her body, makes sure she's presentable, and looks good in the public. Not looks good in the way of like, what I mean. I mean, not per se, but I wouldn't mind that too. But you know what I mean. But the point is so that she's presentable. She cares about the way that people perceive her in public, because in a sense, when a guy sees somebody who is physically attractive or whatnot, and it looks like they take good care of themselves, that gets the image in our head thinking that, okay, she obviously values her health, her well-being, and the way that she appears in public. That's important because she cares about what other people think. Not so much like, self-conscious, like, oh my god, what are they thinking about me? Like, not so much like that, but so much like you respect your body, you respect yourself. And guys, like, for me, for instance, we're vibe sensitive. We can sense when a girl, is confident, when she's cocky and over the damn top, like, oh, too much, that one. You know what I mean? Like, or when they're just like, walk like that or whatever, and you can tell. And guys, I believe a lot of guys out there nowadays appreciate a girl who has confidence. Not somebody who's like over the top. Of course, not somebody who's bitchy, because there's a difference between, putting off the things that your shortcomings and stuff, and you're trying to cover up with being bitchy or something, and just being confident because this is just who you are, and you're not ashamed of who you are, This is how I take care of myself. This is how I dress. This is how I look. I'm comfortable and I'm not afraid to be this person. You know, like that is, I feel, something that guys appreciate a lot, is that kind of mentality and that kind of um, way that they appeal and present themselves in the public. And you know, vice versa. I'm pretty sure that females don't like a guy per se when they're out looking or whatnot. They don't like a guy who is not well kept, doesn't smell good, doesn't look like he takes good care of his body, or he doesn't have good hygiene. It goes both ways. I feel that guys also value a female who has good hygiene and whatnot, you know? Among other things, which goes hand in hand with this very one as well, is, you know, good hygiene. And it goes vice versa. The way that the guy appeals to the girl that, oh, he doesn't shave, he doesn't, you know, keep his hair cut really clean, he doesn't brush his teeth, he kind of stinks all the time, he doesn't really give a crap what he's wearing or how he appeals in the public, or, you know, how he dresses or whatnot, kind of makes a female, you know, females out there, kind of makes you think like, wow, he doesn't really give a damn about himself, aka he probably doesn't give a damn about me if I'm with him, because look how he takes care of himself. That's probably how he takes care of his room. That's probably how he wipes his ass. That's probably how he takes care of his family. You know, he's all sloppy and this and that. And vice versa, guys think that way too. That's the funny thing. Guys think that way too, where if you don't do what I just said about guys for you, you know, we're not blind. We can tell. We can see that, you know? And we can also see when you're trying too hard. You know, it kind of, yeah, you're trying too hard. You know, it's terrible, but yeah, don't try too hard. And lastly, because I'm so not thinking of this off the top of my head and I'm just losing the ideas, but lastly, guys, we appreciate a female who is classy, but can spice it up, you know? Because guys are visually stimulated. We use our eyes and our ears, and we're looking around, and you know, we get caught with what we see, which is why girls dress the way they do nowadays. We get caught with what we see, and it's not that we don't appreciate that. It's just that we also at the same time don't mind a female who has the best of both worlds. You know, they know how to be visually stimulating, aka sexually attractive, but at the same time they remain classy at the same time. I feel that that is something that us guys, we would love females to have if you guys don't have it, and if you guys do, man, you guys are just so great at hiding it. But you know, it's, yeah, you guys are just so good at hiding it nowadays. I don't know if you guys have it, but yeah, I feel that guys would greatly appreciate that. A healthy combination, a nice, well-balanced combination of being classy, having an insight, having a heart, having some self-respect, for Christ's sakes, but at the same time, you know how to, you know, oh, catch the eye real good. Oh man, but you know, Sadak here saying that those were so not random stuff off the top of my head, though it probably was. And yeah, you know, stay funky, brass, molly, stay chill, kimosabi's, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Shoots.